I had just turned 18. I was an arrogant kid, full of dreams, convinced I already knew how the world worked. I had an overwhelming desire to explore, to leave, to experience something beyond my everyday life. What I didn't know was that I was about to embark on a journey that would change me forever. The moment I arrived in Tanzania, the culture shock hit me hard. In just a few hours, I went from the comfort of my home to sleeping in a slum, from hot showers to washing myself with a bucket of cold water. From the organized streets, I had always known to a world that was chaotic, unpredictable, but incredibly alive. And yet, despite everything, it all felt authentic. Every smile, every glance, every moment carried a meaning I had never felt before. I felt more alive than ever. I was 18, and every single day felt like it could become an adventure. Then came my first day at the school where I would be volunteering, and that's when something happened. The moment I met those children, my heart melted. They ran toward us smiling. They laughed, played, and hugged us as if we had known each other forever. They had almost nothing. Yet somehow, they seemed to have everything. I watched them learn math through songs, study through dancing, turn every lesson into a celebration. And for an 18-year-old kid who had grown up on the other side of the world, it was a wake-up call, the kind that doesn't hurt, but changes the way you see everything. For the first time, I realized there were completely different ways to live, and that maybe happiness had nothing to do with what I had always believed. We were welcomed like family. I'll never forget the colors, the smells, and the landscapes of that remote part of Africa. But most of all, I'll never forget the smiles. Some days, I'd walk to a dusty field where children spent hours playing soccer with a ball made of old socks. They laughed, ran, and celebrated every goal as if it were the World Cup. Some of the younger kids would spend hours rolling a tire bigger than themselves, laughing like it was the greatest game in the world. No phones, no expensive toys, just simple things and pure happiness. And somehow, that seemed like enough. Then came one of the most beautiful moments of the entire trip. After an hour in a tuk-tuk through the middle of nowhere, we arrived at a hidden beach. As the sun began to set, the sky turned into something unreal. I was only 18, young, carefree, with not a worry in the world. Overwhelmed by a feeling I can't even describe, I ran straight into the ocean. I had this insane desire to live, a hunger for life I had never felt before. And for the first time in my life, I felt truly free.
You're probably going to find out about it anyway. So here's a little preemptive truth-telling. There's no happy ending.
But that's not exactly true. If I do have any advice for anybody, any final thought, if I'm an advocate for anything, it's to move as far as you can, as much as you can, across the ocean or simply across the river. Open your mind, get up off the couch, move.
Three of us on a motorcycle without helmets, with a stranger who didn't speak English. Me, used to school where you have to raise your hand just to go to the bathroom, and parents who controlled everything I did. In that moment, I felt truly free. The next day, we woke up at sunrise to go on a safari, not really knowing what was waiting for us. And what we saw next went beyond anything we could have ever imagined. Just a 20-minute flight away was Zanzibar, so we decided to go. We found a small hostel near the port for just €10 a night, with an incredible rooftop terrace overlooking the city. Those days felt almost unreal. We swam with dolphins, rode jet skis across the Indian Ocean, and explored beaches with the most crystal clear water I had ever seen. For a while, life felt simple, chasing sunsets, laughing for no reason, and living each day without thinking about the next. And maybe that's why those memories still feel like magic. After ending the day on that rooftop terrace, covered in salt from the ocean and watching the sunset, we decided that the next morning we'd rent a scooter and ride all the way to the north of the island. We stopped at every beach we found, jumped into the water, got back on the scooter, and did it all over again. I even sneaked into a resort just to dive from the restaurant overlooking the sea, and on the way back, the sunset shining through the palm trees gave us the perfect final touch to a day that already felt perfect. This trip changed me. It changed the way I see the world, the way I see life, and the things I choose to value. It opened my eyes to how much there is to experience beyond the small reality we build around ourselves. I left thinking I was the one who was going there to help, but in the end, they were the ones who helped me. When I came back to Italy, everything was exactly as I had left it. The same streets, the same routines, the same life. But something inside me had changed, and ever since then, I've carried a part of that journey with me.